was just talking to my neighbor downstairs, and we were talking about the power of the mind and the connection to the body and how you can heal yourself with just repetitive phrases or thoughts, positive affirmations, things of that nature. And I was telling her this story about how one time I went to the dentist and I told him that I felt like I was getting an abscess. And he said, well, is your mouth hurting? And I said, no. And he said, well, then how do you know you have an abscess? And I said, I don't know. I just swear like my body's saying I'm getting one. And so I went to the x-ray machine and they looked in my mouth. They said, well, we don't see anything wrong with your mouth. And he said, I can't just give you antibiotics for no reason at all. I have to actually see something wrong. So they sent me home, and a couple of weeks later, I come back in and I say, oh, my mouth is just really hurting. And he looked and he said, well, holy crap. He said, I can't believe it, but you actually have an abscess. And so I find that what helps me to connect to my body more, I didn't used to have this mind-body connection where I could just listen to my body and it would tell me something was wrong, is I do body gratitude meditations where I lay there and I just basically thank all my body parts. I thank my blood vessels, I thank my lungs, I thank my pancreas for metabolizing my sugar, my heart for pumping blood, my blood vessels for carrying the blood, my nerve endings for my feelings. I thank my hair and nails for all their functions that I'm aware of. And then sometimes I say, well, thanks to all the parts I don't know or that I didn't mention, that I might have forgotten. And talking to my body and being grateful and asking it to work with me has actually helped me to develop a better, deeper connection where I can hear it better. I realize that it's sort of a co-op. It'll work with you. Sort of like if you're good to it, it's good back to you. So I've asked it multiple times about different things that I have, like I do have neuropathy, and I've asked it what certain things in my diet should I eliminate or what could I add to help with that. And I ask it to sometimes I ask my soul, my spirit, I'm not quite sure what you might want to call it, but the energy that's sustaining me to talk right now, I call it my soul. I ask it to use outside sources. Like maybe keep having something show up on TV or magazines that I'm looking at, or have somebody mention it to me 4 or 5 times. Just keep bringing it up. If there's a certain food or an activity that's causing some sort of damage or hurting me, until I pick up on it, just to keep repeating it, and maybe say something right before or after about it being bad or it causing pain or numbness or whatever it's doing. And then once I pick up on it, I try my best to stop using it or eating it or doing it or whatever it is, because there's different personal hygiene products that it's told me is drying my skin out more or making my hair more frizzy. So I just listen to it and we work together. I think that's how I got it to, how I got over the coffee. 2 more days and it'll be 3 weeks that I finally got over the coffee. And I've been having mad cravings with my menopause. Like last year, I was eating 4 or 5 boxes a week of chocolate protein bars. And just as little as a couple of months ago, I was drinking 4 cups of coffee a day. And then I just kept saying, I don't like coffee anymore. I don't want coffee. I'm not craving coffee. I don't need coffee. And even if I'm drinking it or making it, I keep saying, I don't want that. Or some mornings I would make it just for the habit, because they say it's a habit, it's a process. Or like smoking, it's the whole hand-to-mouth thing. Sometimes you can start sucking on suckers or chewing on a pin or doing something else, putting something else in your mouth instead of the cigarette to help quit. And so my body said, let's just go through the process, make our coffee, and just pretend like we drank it. Like just only do 2 or 3 sips and go, okay, I had my coffee, and see if that works. And it was working. And so I eventually just started not making it at all. And I kept telling my body, make it taste bad, or turn my taste buds off for the coffee, or turn my taste buds off for the cravings for the sugar, or give me a craving for something that will actually curb the bad cravings. And so one morning I made my coffee and I started drinking. I said, ugh, I go like, this tastes really gross. And so I said, well, I'll just get a different creamer. So I went through like 3 different brands of coffee, 3 different kinds of creamers, and they all tasted disgusting. And I was like, yes, thank you very much, body. And it listened to me because I said it would help us. So now my skin's getting softer and less dry. The cracks on my feet are healing. I noticed since I cut the coffee, my stomach feels better. I'm more calm, obviously, so it's really wonderful, the power of the mind and body. I think that they're fascinating. If you have something like this that's happened to you, please share in the comments. I would just love to hear your story. Have a great Sunday.